Hey everyone, Flackadate here with Operation First Blood. This is 12.2 U.S. Pacific Command. Lots of mushroom clouds on PAC territory. It's not looking so good for us, but we have some retaliatory strikes here that we're going to execute this turn. Let's get right into before tech, we'll go into repair facilities, and actually we have no facilities that I can repair. They're either all destroyed or out of supply. Speaking of this, we're going to talk about this real quick and how this is a brilliant move. So if you remember last time I put a fighter on ASW in P45. So that fighter ASW patrol range is 2, and so we are 2 C zones from Jakarta. So you've got P52, P45, so it's 2 zones for your patrol range. So what Captain G went ahead and did is he A, put me out of supply, and then B, damaged that facility. So what that does is the out of supply prevents me from repairing that facility, the airbase, the minor airbase, which in turn affects how this fighter is going to play out here. So in the owning players non-combat turn is when you go ahead and look at the how this is going to play out for this ASW unit. And since there is no carrier or friendly I'm just looking here, actually, since there's no friendly airbase within range to re-put that would die. But I'm just looking up here now at Taiwan. This is actually 1-2 zones away. So I think I just, while explaining this, found a suitable home for that to go. So if Taiwan wasn't there, basically since there's nowhere for this to go, because I can't repair that facility, that fighter would be eliminated at the end of combat, non-combat movement phase, excuse me. But it's looking like I have a place to go. So we'll go ahead and do that in non-combat phase as specified under the ASW rules. So, all right, let's go back into technology. I babbled about that long enough. We're going to do number 5, 9, 13, and 14. CAT drive, advanced air superiority fighters, advanced manufacturing, and advanced airborne. So we'll see if we can get these. I missed all 4 last turn. There's no way that can happen again. Hey! Look at there. Looks like we got airborne. That's stage 3. Gray, second from the bottom, is advanced manufacturing, stage 2. 9 is a miss, and white, cat drive, stage 1. So I'm actually doing okay in tech for how poorly I've rolled this game. Speaking of poor, look at the nuclear fallout is at 14 now. So major facilities are 3 and minor facilities are 2 when they're destroyed. And then every time you use battlefield nukes, it's 1 for fallout. So that's going to come into play in Knights Templar's turn when he does the variable ending. So, all right, let's go into our buy. I'm just going to zoom in here because I know there's some people that are really going to like this buy. My buddy Knights Templar being that person. So with my cash, I'm saving $1. I can't repair anything, like I said. I'm buying a second B1 for 14, 2 paramilitary for 2 each, and 2 diesel electrics for a total of 8. For those diesel electrics, anyway. And then I'm going to collect my 2 cruise missiles and my 2 anti-ships. But let's get right into our strategic nuclear phase, and there are a few things I need to explain So Captain G, in his glorious nuclear luck, destroyed both of my bomber bases, my nuclear bomber bases. So each of those bombers are now on a one-way flight to do their last strategic shot, and one of them is up here in eastern Yakutia, and the other one's down here in P46. So when they're on a one-way, they basically double their range. They go from 8 to 16. So these are well within range. They're actually within normal range. So, so each of those bombers are firing a nuclear cruise missile. 1, 2, we're going to target the mobile IRBM again. And the second bomber down here is going to target the minor army base in Philippines. And then we're going to follow that up with some theater nukes. And since strategic nukes and theater nukes are conducted in different terms, you can double them up. Otherwise, you cannot double up 2 theater nukes on one facility or 2 strategic nukes on a facility. So, going back now to the boomers. This boomer is going to stay here in P25 with its submarine escort. And this boomer here in P30 is going to hop over 1. And it has the same range of 8. And I did mark it out with dice this turn, which actually looks kind of cool. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 up here to that ICBM in Novosibirsk. And from this guy, we're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to the ICBM in Irkutsk. So those look kind of cool. Got a nice little arch to it, just like you see in the War Games movie. So let's go ahead and resolve these. I need the luck to be with me. Please don't jinx that now with my words. Let's go ahead and start with the nuclear missiles. Let's start down here in the Philippines. So that is a bomber. This is a bomber strategic nuke. So Anthony gets, Captain G, gets 2 defense dice since he has Top Gun and AMD. Actually, I think he gets 1 for 1 in general. So he's got 2 dice, and this is a nuclear cruise missile, so we've got 2 D6. So here we go. And that is, of course, shot down. So that one's dead. 1 gone. Let's go up here to the mobile IRBM. Same dice. 2 defense dice. And this time it is not shot down, thank goodness. And we caused 10 damage. And this is something I misspoke in a turn or 2 ago. There is actually a max damage for the mobile IRBM, and it is 7. And since we inflicted 10, that is now gone and destroyed. Oh, that's something. At least I'll take that. That information is found on the cheat sheets for each faction. So. All right, so let's move into now a little bit better odds here. 3d6, and we have 1 defense dice, and these are for the advanced ICB or advanced SLBMs. Let's start here in Irkutsk and move over to Novosibirsk. All right, so here we go. And that one is shot down in Irkutsk. We're gonna get a different die. Maybe that'll help my luck. This one is in Novosibirsk, attacking the ICBM. Outstanding. So this one actually made it through. We've got 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 damage. And it just goes to my luck that the max damage is 9 on an ICBM. So that is destroyed. Holy moly. 1 sneaky missile finally made it through and destroyed an ICBM. Outstanding. Put these back on my dashboard. since my boomers are still alive to fight another day. And that will cause some fallout here. And let me just double check what that is. If I've got it here in front of me quick, which I might not. Nope. That's all right. We'll go ahead and we'll update that at the end of the turn. Okay, so this will conclude our strategic nuclear phase. So now the bombers are gone. They did their last flight. Very sad. But that's okay. This is what we get for escalating nuclear tension. Can either be helpful or not so much. So, all right, let's go into our regular combat. And we've got a couple here. Our options are a little bit limited from my being put out of supply here in Jakarta, but that's okay. So we're going to attack this sneaky little sub that's putting me out of supply in P52 here. So we're going to take one of the subs out of this submarine task force here. It's going to combat 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to take the destroyer here out of I-15. And we're going to go ahead and try to destroy that sneaky little sub. All right. Excuse me, if I don't put this back, I'm going to forget. All right, so from this card again, I'm just going to take this time the whole thing. We're going to go 1 over 2 P45. And those 4 nuclear attack subs are going to shoot 1 each for a total of 4 cruise missiles into West Malaysia. And since I have PGMs, those are target select, and since we're now blocking that, they are also out of supply. So we'll go ahead and put that there as well. Outstanding. All right. Included in that battle, we're going to take this air cav, which is here in Borneo. It's bordering P45. We're going to go 1, 2 to piggyback on that attack. From East Malaya, we're going to go 1, 2 into Thailand. And we are going to walk on and take that territory back for the capitalist peoples of the world. And we're going to go ahead and move ourselves up to 26 and FEC down to 18. Okay. All right, so those are my 3 attacks there. I've got one more. Move this over here. From Hawaii, and I pre-counted this with this red dice. This B1's going to come down all the way down here to P46, which is 6 movements. And it's going to shoot a AGM-69 at the air base and an AGM-86B at the army base. And they are only subject to 1 defense die each. So we'll see how that rolls out. And since we're talking about that now, let's go ahead and resolve that. All right. All right, so we'll start with the paving strike, and that is the AGM-69. So here we go. And that caused 6 damage. piggyback up with the AGM 86B on the Army base. Here we go. And that is 6, 7, 8, 9 damage. Had only I had a strategic nuke hit there, that would have been a destroyed base. But we're going to put 9 there instead. Okay. All right. Let's go into the sub-battle here. We've got a diesel-electric Foxtrot against a nuke and a destroyer. All right, so we'll go ahead and roll our attackers first. Destroyer in blue, nuke in red. We need 4s or less, and we got 1 hit. So he will go ahead and defend at a 3 or less, and that's a 2. Let me see that. Look at there. So I'm going to take my destroyer as a casualty. We'll take his pesky little diesel electric sub out of there. Taking this auto supply marker off. Beautiful. Okay, let's go ahead and resolve East Malay. We've got 4 cruise missiles coming in hot. Use some patriotic colors here. We're looking for 5 or less on these cruise missiles. Here we go. It looks like we got 2 hits. Got a 4 and a 5, and that will first strike those 2 units right out of there. And we will then land our air cav in there uncontested. All right, look like I'm out of PAC markers here. I'll steal one over here. Okay, so that is another buck. We'll go up to 27. FEC down to 17. And now the most significant part of this entire combat here is we just took back all of Southeastern Asia, which gives me 5 whole VP points, if we can see that. Really small, 5 VPs, plus my 1 VP for Australia in the Indies, minus 2 destroyed nuclear facilities at a half a point each. That puts me down to 5. And now and there's also 2 U.S. air bases under control, which are a quarter each. So that is 4.5 VPs that I'm at. So that is outstanding. There's actually a chance to do something here. Okay. So that concludes our attacks here. Let's go ahead and move into non-combat. And we're going to move this fighter first. So we're going to extend its patrol range. 1, 2, up here. 1, 2, into Taiwan. Outstanding. So he can fight another day. Our diesel electric and I-15 is going to go 1, 2 into P-37 to continue that blockade there. And we were attempting to destroy this base and put these out of supply, but they are not out of supply. We just have some damaged bases there. Okay. This nuclear attack 7P-37 is going to go 1, 2 up to P-29 to join that boomer. All right. The B-1 in P-46 is going to come down to Queensland, and that is a total movement of 10. All right. And since these are now in supply, I can non-combat the only thing I can non-combat, I could sea lift, which I won't, but I'm going to fly. This Aircav 1 can only make it to Borneo, so put him there. Just looking around here. I think my other movement will be, I'm going to air rebase this fighter from West Coast to Taiwan, so I've got 2 fighters there now. And then the strategic bomber in Pacific Northwest, excuse me. It's gonna come down to West Coast. Super crazy, I know. All right. I believe that is it for my movements here. And looks like I forgot something that I planned out on my board here, but I did not declare it, so I'm going to take it off. This nuclear attack sub was going to shoot a cruise missile at Tokyo, but I forgot it, so we'll just take that off. Shoot, darn. But okay. Let's go ahead and place our units. Alrighty. So we're going to put a paramilitary in Singapore. We're going to put a paramilitary in East Malay. Yeah. We're going to put him in Borneo instead. We're going to put the 2 diesel electrics in P25. That's a whole mess of subs over there. And then the B1 we're going to build at the major air base in West Coast. Outstanding. All right. We're going to put 2 more cruise missiles on the stack, which gives me 5. 2 more ASMs, which gives me like 8. And then we save that buck. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead. Collect our income. We're at 27 base. -2, which puts me at 25. And then we'll do our global support here. All right, looking for a big number, 9. And 9 is still middle range, so that's 4. But that puts me at 29, 30 bucks to spend. Next turn, I haven't had that much money this whole game, which is awesome. So, all right. I'll do a quick disposition here. In West Coast, we have a strategic bomber and a B1. P25, we've got a boomer, 5 diesel electrics and 2 nuke attack subs. In P29, we've got a boomer and a nuke sub. Guam is the same with a mushroom cloud. Queensland, we got a B1, marine, and a light infantry. Jakarta, we've got a destroyed army base. 7 on the minor air base. An airborne, an airborne, a paramilitary, a AAA, an attack bomber on Jakarta, a nuclear attack sub in P52, 4 nuclear attack subs in P45. We've got a paramilitary on Singapore and Borneo, an air cav on Borneo, an air cav in West Malay, an aircav in Thailand, and a diesel-electric MP37. And we did destroy the mobile IRBM and a missile silo, which will cause some fallout. At least one. It might be 3. So forgive me for not knowing that on top of my head. But other than that, yes, our dashboard's looking pretty light. We were released for counter value, but we do not have them anymore. Those bombers for dropping those bombs. So, this is all I have for 12.2. If this is the last turn, thanks for watching, everyone. And we'll kick this to Knights Templar for 12.3. Thanks for watching.